Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday's Poetry Corner episode where we're going to get busy tonight. We have three poets coming through to spit that ish. You know what I mean? Valerie, I'm going to hand it over to you so you can introduce these fly ass poets.
Thank you, King. How wonderful it is to be here again this Tuesday night. We are the Poetry Corner. You can like and subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate it. And if you hit that notification bell, you will get notified of all our future shows. We have a great show tonight. We're going to start off with Miss Dre, front and center. Welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Drea the Poet. I'm going to read a poem titled Aphorisms. There was a set of rules put in place that counted us out. When I say us, I mean the people other than. A process that is concerned with counting us out was designed to misinform, control, enslave. We cannot seem to correctly calculate the root of the problem to overcome, to connect, to align. We need to reset our algorithm to solve the issues we are faced with today, yesterday, in operating unity. The roof has not changed. We just have to get on the same page. No division, addition. No blurred lines. Understand that it was all in the plan to divide us, misguide us, degrade us. We are the rejected ones. We are separated by religious beliefs, psychological battles, prejudice against our own kind, colorism, blind, equality, acceptance, diversity, equity, belonging. Peace is what I seek. We live in a controlled society, boxed in, groupthink, my type, religion, race, body type, skin color, status, labels, gatekeeping, exportation, traditions, war, affinity groups, privilege, value system, social justice, fraternity, sorority, celebrity, mob mentality. I have to fit in, and to fit in, I lose me. I have to be your type of black, your type of white, your type of brown, your type of yellow. Divide and conquer. Our society is caught up in the opinions of others, majority rules, trend, politically correct. Most don't see through the lens of their own eyes. Most are taught to hate, to have pride in their race. Religion is the biggest disconnect. Heaven, hell, no in between. We continue to create form to disconnect. You belong over there, you belong with them. You need to learn more about where you come from, your race. But we're all the same. Different colors, we all bleed the same blood. We all need the same food for nourishment. What disconnects us is our belief systems that force fed down our throats by the local media streams to control the masses. But once you step out of the box, you are the problem. Their rules, no room for change. We vote, but things stay the same. America, the home of the free, land of the brave, built on the backs of slaves. We continue to march to stake our claim in this country, say their names. Minimal progression, no lessons learned. The influence of violence and mass media overturn convictions. Don't believe the hype, ethics and values through society lens or societal ones. The truth cannot be altered. Our biggest enemy is our memory. How do we heal if we stay stuck in the past? But we are only considered three-fifths of a human being, and according to the Constitution of the United States. When will we be free? Free of stigmas, the fears of our skin. We live in a society where dominance and power is the goal. Everything is open for public consumption. So the envious people come out behind the computer screens, the bullies, the racists, the sexists. These people measure their self-worth against people they don't know. And the trauma manifests from people that always felt insufficient, insecure, worthless, superior, better than. When in fact we were all created in his perfect image, but yet we all fall short of his glory. Listen, pay close attention. We need one another for survival. This life shouldn't be a never ending cycle of hate, envy, fear. I digress. The lines are blurred between who we are and who they want us to be.
Whoa. Wow. Man.
Drop that knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
Wow.
Talk.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We are the Poetry Corner. We have a Facebook page as well. So we would like to welcome you. If you are a poetry lover, you are going to be delighted by this page. If you are a poet, then we welcome you to join the page. You are more than welcome to post your poetry, your events, or your book. And everyone will get to see who you are as well. So right now I am going to bring up Word Trafficker, center stage. Allow you to introduce yourself and let us know what you have going on.
All right. My name is Brandon Skidmore, and I actually have a book coming out later this year called The Last Warrior of the North. I'm using AI art as some of the illustrations, so that's what I use for my background tonight. Just the AI is amazing, the art you can create with that. So I just thought I'd throw it up there for a background tonight. But yeah, and so and you can follow me on Instagram at word_trafficker. The piece I'm going to start with is very much along the lines of what we just heard. It's called Dreams. Dreams flicker in your mind and run away to hide. You try to catch them with your hand, they will drift through your fingers like sand. The closer you come, the faster they run, for dreams can never be caught, because they're little more than a thought. Dreams can only reside in the future, while the dreamer most certainly does not. In our mind, they're exponential, but to share them, words are essential. Words make dreams finite, and a dream exposed to words has lived its last night. The right words contain magic and always have. Some use it for good, and others to fuel the mad. So here we sit on the verge of a self-inflicted war, waiting for a dream to become something more. A burning beacon those in the towers can no longer ignore. The factions are not divided, they are polarized. To bring them together, the dream must be vaporized. And this man's words will be all that survive. There are few watershed moments in our lives. They come from nowhere, but you know when they arrive. In this moment, the Trinity comes together. Truth unlocks magic, so the words will emanate forever. So why are we here? What led the masses to come? Hope that this man, his words in a moment, will cause a reaction greater than the sum. The man rises and the mob waits for him to falter. He uses his chosen words and sacrifices that dream upon the altar. Eloquence unlocks magic, and sincerity turns the dream into a martyr. When he is done, the mob is quiet because they witnessed a birth instead of a riot. An idea has been born, a vision that infects the masses, and the inner voice starts questioning and even the most passive. The vision has power and inspires action. Hearts have been reached across the great chasm. So what is a dream? Little more than a thought, but it could change the world if truth is sought.
Brilliant.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Thank you.
Wow.
I do love that
Get this thing
background.
going.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that was cool.
We are just getting started. I would like to introduce the Liquid Lizard.
Hello.
Hello.
I
Let
am
us
the Liquid
know.
Lizard. I'm the Liquid Lizard. Brian Stout is my name. You can find me on Instagram, _liquid, LIKWID _lizard. I have a couple books out. I have one by Brian Stout, which is one that you can let your mom read, and it's like an inspirational book. It's called Scattered Refractions. And then I have another one which is by Liquid Lizard that has got pretty explicit content, but it just basically speaks a lot of reality, and that's the Liquid Evolution into the Lizard Revolution. Other than that, that's it. That's me in a nutshell. So we're doing The Life I Live, and for that I am going to do a poem called Human Kindness, subtitled This Circus. Liquid Lizard. See, we represent the progress of perpetual energy, I suppose. Or are we not but composed from the sum of all of our highs and lows? See, when our cage is rattled, we are so quick-tempered to jump right in the saddle and ride into battle that we fail to understand how we brand ourselves like cattle. So our desperate attraction to the glittering limelight of shiny distractions and pulp culture fashion without the capacity for human compassion could only result in gluttonous dissatisfaction. The disruptive seduction of a corrupted production, reconstructing our own destruction. There can be no exile from a counterculture misled into believing they're all fucked in the head, bred in a societal asylum amongst a political tyranny for the people, by the people. There's fucking irony. Just call me the breeze, because I'm able to sift through the silence with ease and free to drift as I damn well please. And I'm gifted with the rare ability to see there is no forest. It's only trees. But I've too much at stake to let that fuck with my pride or fuck up my strides. I just brush the dust aside and let my conscience be my guide. As for what fate I lay in wait, I'll let the universe decide. Though I may sometimes skip a beat, I choose to refuse to allow for it to make me lose my rhythm. I tore holes through my spirit while I wore holes through my shoes, paying dues along the way, chasing clues and pacing cues, making no excuse when facing truths. I got no time for calling names or playing games like placing blame on others. I won't live to discover the faults in one another. See, I watch as the human experience becomes a rat race, set to a sad pace, but having bad people does not make it a bad place. So put away that mad face, because we ain't got that much time to waste. Again, we're the perpetual progress of spiritual energies. We are a convergent adaptation evolved from the fear of each our own fragilities, consequentially developing existential instabilities and quintessentially questioning the potential in our very own abilities. They convince us that we are not prepared. Why? Because if they can keep us scared, they can keep us unaware. And as for those who claim righteousness, buyer beware. Because they'll send out temptation dressed up like a whore, but that bitch should not bother to knock upon my door anymore. I'll say it again, just I've said it before. Temptation is one road which I'll not explore. I've gone and moved on, permanently closed down that store. Don't need to even any odds nor settle any score. And if that is what you've come here for, well, you could not have knocked on a wronger door. I have turned that page for good. Hope it's clearly understood that before you knock upon my door, you should probably knock on wood, because I won't waste my time or expend any energy hustling grime or creating enemies. I outmuscled the grind while developing empathy. I rewind in my mind time after time. I have left behind what seems like an eternity, cussing and tussling in the absence of apathy, only to find that love is the remedy. And while regret is unkind, I do not deserve sympathy. It's just the movement created while I've conducted my symphony. And only with love can we rise above and make our break from whatever burdensome weight of whatever fate may lay in wait, from whatever hate that we for our own selves did create. I no longer have a need to drift from town to town. I've somewhat cleaned up my act and set my circus down. Though I still love to play the clown, I just choose to do so not at the expense of others. I have come to accept all humanity as sisters and as brothers. We all have so much to discover about ourselves and one another. So whatever weather we must endeavor, let's say we endeavor it together. So by being kind to someone else, we're investing in ourselves. So let us live to recover our wealth, a treasure, a good measure of spiritual health with high hopes towards an emotional wellness. And may the light of enlightenment ignite to inspire the desire for a need to always improve, allow to be tried and try to stay true and see your way through a path that leads colliding into a somehow more evolved, newer version of you. I manifest the destiny of my own revelation through metaphysical detoxification and an ongoing existential innovation while undergoing a perpetuating spiritual renovation. And there will be no interference, always perseverance through hard work and dedication, sheer determination, and a will that will not fail. Well, I cannot suggest that human kindness always will prevail, you see. I can commit that human kindness will always prevail in me. Boom.
Whew. That's
All
some
right.
power.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent
Thank you.
poetry so far. Beautiful pieces. Very well read.
Definitely was.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the
Laid
Poetry
that out.
Corner, hosting every Tuesday night here. So continue to join us. So subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified of all future shows. I am going to bring Miss Dre back up center stage.
It's me again, and I forgot the first time to tell you that I'm on Instagram as Miss.Drea_ the poet. I am working on a book. I do attend a poetry school community literature initiative in Inglewood, California, and it's also online. Great stuff.
Yeah.
This poem is titled Elucidate. Tunneling my vision while our life was spiraling out of control. Words lost in translation, our lines were crossed up in misunderstood words. There were plenty of explanations given when he found out she cheated. It didn't make sense. Unreasonable expectations of what life should be. But in actuality, her life didn't include me. Had me questioning if I was enough. Did I listen? Did I care? Was I really there? Enough to see her pain, supporting her dreams, taking care of our family. I was wrapped up in my career. Never noticed the tears, the fear, and pain in her eyes. Her heart turned cold. Betrayal. She wasn't honest with her feelings. She played games. I can't read minds. This isn't the first time. I've held on to what I believe was meant to be, for better or worse, to death. I didn't sign up for this. She wants me to provide, spend time, forgive her lies, give her grace, forget all of her mistakes. I'm paying the price for being a provider. If I was there more, he wouldn't be a factor. She needed to be held, kissed, touched, feel like a woman. So she did what was best for her. Late night texts, the phone rings once and she hangs up. It's no surprise that the child isn't mine, but I'm the only father he knows. She says DNA doesn't make you a father. You're a coward if you walk away. My heart and mind are disconnected. I reject her orchestrated words. I could have forgiven her if there was only one. But to my surprise, there were plenty, and still no father for her son.
Mm.
Oh,
Whew.
whoa.
That was some
All
powerful
right.
stuff there.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting take. I love that. We would like to welcome Brandon back up to the stage, word trafficker, so he can read another piece for us.
All right. The second piece I have is a combined story and poem. So the section of the story is called The Fall, and the poem is called Upheaval. Empires had been built on the backs of slaves since the beginning of time. This had troubled his conscience, but it had been personal, or had not been personal until they came after his father. That was what had awoken the dormant ability within him and had set the massive wheels of purpose into motion that could no longer be stopped. Since that day that his father had been killed, he had focused on perfecting his art. Words were his medium, and with that, he could create the seed of an idea that he would transfer that seed onto the canvas of a mind and simply step back and watch it flourish. That had given him the ability to build bridges across the great divides and light fires inside of souls. The road here had been so long. He had landed on island after island in the Mediterranean, and then he began to cross the continents. All these hard miles had been traveled to arrive here at this moment. It was just after midnight as he crested the hill, and he laid his eyes upon Rome for the first time, and Rome was burning. This was the final stroke of his masterpiece, and by the time the sun rose over the hills to the east, Rome would be no more. As he touched that arrowhead that hung around his neck, he could feel his father's soul reach out to him. He pulled his quill and notebook from his pack, channeled his father's spirit, and printed the word upheaval in all caps across the top of the page. And then he drifted off to that place where he was the creator of all things. You told me what was right. You told me where I could go. You told me what was my place, but who are you to know? You told me to be happy because I'm free. You're just lying to me, which I did not see. As long as I obey, you give me enough to overextend, to keep me a slave because you're not willing to give. You killed my dreams when my father fell by your hand. Well, not literally. The arrow that landed in his chest that I had to dig out with my own hand traveled on the winds of your doctrines, saying free thought should be banned. So I know it now, like I knew it then. It's up to me to make everything come unhinged. The days grow longer, pressure builds hotter, everything is getting much, much harder. Doubt sets in, the questions won't end. Maybe it's me that's coming unhinged. The thunder starts to rumble underneath my skin. The hunger grows stronger and it knows no end. It fills my mind once again. Why was I chosen to deliver hell to those that have sinned? I'm the one because my brain understands it, my muscles feed off of it, my eyes burn with it, my mind can focus it, and I can control it. The mind-shattering chaos inside of silence, the kind that upsets your conscience. I'll be a martyr today and only a name tomorrow. Only victors are loved, those that came before know that sorrow. My purpose is simple, I must create a ripple. But only epics remain in the mind of that vast lake that we call time. One promise is made to all those who are enslaved. No one will look down on you anymore because no tower will stand at the end of this war. He had delivered on his promise, and he had brought the most powerful man in the world to his knees with his words. As he watched the fall of the thing that had been the focus of his vengeance for so long, he felt emptiness engulf him.
Oh,
Okay.
that was, yeah.
That was.
Thank you.
was
Oh,
definitely
I
layered.
can't wait for.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm very excited about the release of this book. I've heard snippets of it for a while, and it is going to be an incredible.
That's actually
read.
the future project. This is not in the current book. That's the book coming after.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
nice.
excellent.
That's what's up. That's
Good
what's
to
up.
know. I'll have a lot of reading in my future. All right, we are going to continue on. So do like and subscribe to this page, and you will get notified when these wonderful artists come back to us. But right now, we're bringing Miss Drea, the poet, back up.
This poem is titled True Confessions. I was never in love with you. I was in love with the idea of you, a figment of my imagination. You were never true. An unrealistic desire that I created in my mind of what I imagined you to be. Then I awakened to tragedy, a tragedy of you, who you really are. A narcissistic serial liar that plays on women's kindness, a fool with no soul, a half man who will never be whole, where everywhere is his home, a creature of habit, one who lives lies for the entire world to see, posting a life of fakes. He's green with envy, full of rage. He can't deceive me. My eyes are open. I see the truth. The feelings that I had will never be again. It's sad because I was one loyal friend. It's the end. No more. I'm not a woman's scorn.
Oh,
Ooh,
get
love
it.
the
All
ending.
right, Dre.
Yeah.
Great
Get it.
ending. That was fantastic. We do hope that you're enjoying the show. It's wonderful to see your comments. It is beautiful evening out here, so I do hope that the weather's holding out for you. If you are in one of those areas that is going to be hit by a hurricane, we do hope for your safety. We're going to bring up Word Trafficker again.
All right, this one is the preface to my upcoming book. This is the one that is coming out this at the end of the year, called The Last Warrior from the North. Our story begins atop a desk in an ancient sanctum. Atop this desk, time was the currency, and the business of dealing dreaded purpose upon souls had been transacted for centuries. Even though it was an ancient room, it was now flush with technology, and everything in it was steel, aside from the sanctum doors and his desk. The steel seemed to make the room feel cold, and even if it wasn't cold, you could feel the steel could sense your uneasiness and send a shiver up your spine. The desk in the center of the room was a stark contrast to the steel. It was extremely old, perfectly maintained mahogany desk that had been crafted by hand. The intricate red inlays inside the wood were in such contrast to the blue steel that the room had a fire and ice feel, because even in this place, balance had to exist. Today, a case sat atop his desk. He flipped it open and he flipped the dials to the proper combination and opened it. The buyer must have been holding on to this for some time because it would have been next to impossible to gather such a rare item so quickly. He looked at the contents in awe, but as he felt the thing start to reach out and caress his mind, he slammed the case and jumped back. The legends about how this thing worked were true. Now he turned his attention to the envelope. The paper had a silk-like texture to it, and he gently opened it. The request must have come from the top of their affiliation, and he scanned over the note, picked up his quill, and crossed off the name written there. He reread that last line of the note again. and then he wrote something across the bottom. The act of severing souls from mortality had brought about an abundance of indifference within him, but this request stirred an emotion within him. This is really bold, he thought. But what he thought didn't matter. They paid, he delivered, end of story. He looked up at the circular room of steel doors that had nothing writ upon them but a number. He walked to the door and designated by the Roman numeral 1. In the past, this door had aligned with the true north, but as the balance between dark and light was starting to erode, it had shifted to the east. He entered the code, and the machines began their scans to verify his identity. The machines were not checking for fingerprints, retina scans, or even DNA, because those could all be faked. The machines were scanning for the absence of things, because this man had no pulse, no eyes, no fingerprints to scan. He was an undeniable aura. When the ID was confirmed, Reaper was the name printed across the top of the pad. Voltage shut off, tungsten and titanium beams released, and the airlock was opened. He pulled his hood up over his head and stepped into the holding area while the doors closed behind him. Now he stood before a sanctum door, a door of true power. The one he stood before was made of solid gold and had 2 simple letters inscribed upon it, Alpha and Omega. The scans ran again, and he was allowed to go inside. He already knew the specific safe deposit box he wanted for this case. He placed it in, shut the box, pulled the key, and looped the chain over his neck where hundreds of other keys hung. He then turned to another row of safe deposit boxes, and like a magic trick, he pulled the correct key out from the swath that hung around his neck and unlocked the box. He retrieved the item inside and put it in his robe for later. He turned to the black and white beam of light running through the center of the room. He started at one end and ran his finger down the beam until he found the place he was looking for. When his fingers touched the beam, it turned to plasma, and he pulled it apart and flattened it out. As he searched for the name, he ran his bony finger across people's timelines, causing the hair on the back of their neck to rise. He found the name on the paper, pulled the timeline. His thorough nature triple-checked everything, and once it was confirmed, he walked to the far end. He started the ritual and began to speak in tongues. As he finished the ritual, he pulled the pin on the end of the man's timeline, but the light representing his mortality began to flicker and change colors. This had not happened before. Was something going wrong? As he debated this, the timeline shot forward and knocked the Reaper to his knees. The man on this list was now a chosen one, a guardian who would be able to transcend time. Before completing the ritual that would thrust immense responsibility upon this man and in turn demand extreme sacrifices throughout his life, the Reaper felt pity for casting such a dreadful purpose on him. He read the last line of the note again and crushed the marker in his hand. The chosen one was standing on a cliff overlooking the ocean as the full moon rose. As he turned to head home, he felt something manifest behind him, and a hooded figure was floating over the water. The man started to ask this thing what it was, and the thing raised its hand and took control of his body. You have completed your trials, and today you are reborn, unbound from the mortal constraints of time. Kneel down for the last time as a mortal and cast off your given name. The hooded figure forced him onto his knees. When you arise, you will do so as the chosen guardian of the sacred word. This night you are reborn. Unlike the others, you are designated as one of the 4 primes, so I'm instructed to give you this as well. A glowing quill of pure white light appeared in front of him and began to radiate. Rise, prime guardian of the sacred word. You are now known as the Rider. The hooded figure released control over his body and whispered the words, I am sorry, as he disappeared into the night. The quill floated over to the Rider, and as he reached out to grab it, power surged through his veins, and he was swept away to find the dreaded purpose that awaited him.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm ready for the rest of that.
I know, right? That's going to be so great to read it all. I do believe that I missed this gentleman on the last round, and my biggest apologies, but here we come. We're bringing up the Liquid Lizard.
Yeah, no apologies needed. Oh my goodness, these are masterful pieces, man. These are awesome, and to hear you narrate that book, I liked it, man. That's good. I can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great story, man. Set up well. All right, The Dots. I'm gonna do a piece. I don't think I've ever read this before. It's called The Dots, subtitled "Lend Me an Ear, and I'll paint you a portrait." Love Van Gogh. Anyway. We are the broken transmission between 2 contradictory parallels of either opposing extreme. We are misled opposition from misread contradiction, the consequence from indecision, the remnants of imposition, the staggered pulse before remission. We are the defendants of descendants of descendants of descendants, the misinterpretation of freedom and independence, the morally corrupt servants of indigence, the morbid complexities from mortal perplexities of silent intermittence. Fireball reforms across the vicious skyline, some whiskey and rye sign. We cannot buy time. Truants of high crime are both your kind and my kind. An eye for an eye blind. But what truths could such ties bind? These are the days of thieves and tyranny. The irony is that they have always been. There is no freedom without when there's repression within, a transgression and sin, the oppression of men, the resurrection of aggression crawling under my skin. In a broken system of resistance, stained and smeared with disguise, free enterprise. Government spies create corporate lies, sponsorship buys, cheap alibis, the imminent demise of political despise, the prominent rise of socialist reprise. As democracy dies, they'll only silence the cries. Black rain floods the skies, left wondering why. But the blister is real. So we are destined to feel Achilles' postmodern heel. Only time could reveal. They will beg, they will steal like some Catholic appeal, playing let's make a deal with every layer that they peel. A labyrinth of mirrors in a capitalist society. The mask of sobriety, all smoke in its entirety. Natural selection through global infection, a false sense of protection. The standard must change. We need a clear new direction. It's beyond the control of any single election. It's raining chaos and anarchy inside my head. The lies that I've been fed and the riot acts that I've been read. I have tried breaking bread. Now the time has come for breaking legs, busting jaws and cracking heads wide open, provoked by the shattered hope of a broken system. Rise in power in both strength and wisdom and strike with sheer precision, waging unrelenting war against them. Anger and rage, kill switch engage. If all the world is a stage, then I control the pit. Addicted to conflict, I get off from the pain that I inflict. Time to twist and pop some necks, cause what baby wants, baby gets. And no one puts baby in the corner, bitch. About a one-way ticket on the crazy train. Senseless instabilities flood my brain. Am I insane? My face toward the sky. I taste the rain, embrace the pain, and I ain't ever coming back again. I have psychopathic tendencies, repulsive codependencies. Sickness is as sickness does, and baby is what daddy was. The need to torture just because. I don't aspire to conspire. I inspire to set fire to your city and retire your shitty committee of oversight and self-pity, throwing Molotov bags of shit at your front doorstep, dragging mayhem through the streets into rural subdevelopment. I won't ask for permission. If I want it, I'm going to take it. When you don't negotiate revision, then I'm just going to break it. Pull at the seams in the most obscene of extremes. Tear it to shreds and wear out the shred. Pull at the thread, just watch it all come unraveled. Because there are no lengths I won't travel. When justice should be sought with a shovel, fuck the gavel. Talk is cheap. I get it elbow deep. Fingers crossed behind the backs of creeps. But it helps the sheep to fall asleep. To hear another promise they won't keep. Do what they say when they say do it. Nothing to it. You let them run right through it, and you never even knew it. See, I inquisitively implore, for which moon does the night adore? When there could be a billion stars each moon has never seen before. See, there's more left unexplored than has ever been explored. But one day, perhaps that could change. While these times, they may seem strange, finding reality bent and rearranged, twisted ideas, thoughts deranged. But who pulls the strings? Delivering a soliloquy through impervious ventriloquy that pontificate, regurgitate, complicate, regulate comparability, exploiting fragility by exposing vulnerability. We start from both ends, but we never meet in the middle. Hearts and minds played like a fiddle, but faith is not a riddle. Vivid inconsistencies and vivid and frigid improficiencies, timid insecurities and livid against impurities. But which halves could make a whole, and which cracks could break the soul? Hidden behind that wall of contradictions lies the execution of exalting decisions, exacting precisions under distracting conditions, extracting by contracting theatrical provisions of artillery and demolitions. War is an art, And chaos is symphonic, an orchestra symbolic of a masterpiece, corrupt, conducted to interrupt and disrupt, destruct and reconstruct theoretical exposure and ideological composure for some theological disclosure. And reverence irrelevant when we won't discuss the element of whatever might be the elephant, so long as articulation appears benevolent. This for that, and that for this. But hit or miss ain't worth a piss when ignorance is bliss. Quantified distractions do not qualify inactions. Ineptitude brings no resolution, only antiquated confusion through fearful disillusion when all mankind seeks to find some form of revolution. A cauldron of deceit, break the hands by which we're fed, he said and she said. When all that's come undone has been misread, would you still have faith enough to bow your head? A miscalculating projected trajectory, culminating imperfections while demonizing purgatory, protuberant promiscuous proclivities prolonging our fatigue, the metaphoric fulcrum to a social symbolic lever. But tricks are for kids, you silly little twit, and rabbits ain't that clever. Nevertheless, there you go, chasing him further and further down into that proverbial hole. Cast shadows, silhouettes of well-played conspiracy, the cacophonous seduction of a well-orchestrated symphony. So lend me an ear, and I'll paint you a portrait. Because time is the one thing that you cannot take back. There are deuces, one-eyed jacks, and a king with an axe. But before Wham did make it big, Frankie said, relax. So I'll take a pop and a hiss on any day, chump. Radio is trash and the media fucking sucks. And Saturday morning these days ain't nothing on but junk. Where are my cartoons with that chauvinistic skunk? Ask yourself this question. Do you feel lucky, punk? Held in a mansion for ransom by a handsome Charles Manson, bopping to Hanson. Did you order the code red? You can't handle the truth, he said. But where's Ted? Babe, Ted's dead. Bourbon Street blender spin in my head. While I do not bite my thumb at you, I do still bite my thumb. Spoo Man got you comfortably numb, all head spalm like a fairy's dance of the sugar plum. Public enemy number one identified. Spin the baby bottle genocide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, but deep inside a cave in the middle of the desert, like a cannibal lecture from Hannibal Lecter. Force-fed, formulated riboflavin, fertilized toxic gases as the media shoves fentanyl diuretics up our digital asses, and we stick our heads right up in them just to get a little whiff, but more than just a whiff, got us hanging from a cliff. Between ancient myths and guitar riffs, the upper lift should not be spit stiff. Getting schooled by Professor Griff and text from Terminator X, but I don't want to start no static. People turn to sheep, and it's merely out of habit. While science tasks rushed alibis, silence unmasks hushed lullabies. Harvest the Anger, the harbinger of mortal danger, is not much of a stranger after all. Within the darkest depths of our own subconscious, we stay conscious where what wars we have waged in ourselves remain constants. But it's the oblong box. It's the oblong box in a circular room. A harmonious tune reflected from the luminous gloom of an ecliptic moon. We eclectically presume to select.
Oh, I'm not too sure what happened, but here we go. We apparently had a little bit of technical difficulty, and we will work hard to resolve that. So sorry about the interruption. Rabbits may not be that clever, but the wordplay that the liquid lizard was spinning there was incredibly clever. So thank you for that. But we will be back with Liquid Lizard as soon as he gets back here. We're going to go back to Miss Dre.
Hello again, everyone. This one is titled Wait, Wait. Okay, right there. I feel you deep inside me. The piercing of your body with respect, and in return, I reciprocate moisture, overflowing with trust, love, and loyalty. Enter me deeper. Stop, don't let go. Allow me to hold your heart. This is a sensational feeling. Hands intertwine your body and mind. Keep your mind open to dreams of the close to perfect mate. Fill me up with your warm touch. Hold me tight. Don't ever let go. Penetrate my mouth with truth. Taste the nectar of my thoughts. Heart filled with joy, enjoying you. Satisfied without a price. Content ease of mind. Continuous bliss. What did I miss? Happiness ends with the kiss.
Ooh,
It was a beautiful
Okay.
piece. Lovely.
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
Oh,
Ladies
Love
and
the kiss.
gentlemen, we are almost going to wrap up here. We still have a few more poets to go and some more wonderful pieces. Just a quick reminder, we are on Facebook as the Poetry Corner, and we are also here a few nights a week with specials. So do like and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so that you get notified of not only this show, but all shows that run. I am going to bring up Brandon, the word trafficker.
All right, I have a short little piece here. It's a song I actually wrote for my daughter. I don't have music to it yet, but it's the lyrics to the song that I wrote for her. This song is called Talk. Sit down tonight and talk with me. When I don't see you, it's hard on me. The superficial things led us astray, yet from my demons I can't get away. When my world starts tearing apart, you're the light that guides me through the dark. I search to the ends of the earth only to find that you were here all the time. Sit down tonight and talk with me. In this moment, you're all I see. Tonight I'm here with a smile hiding sorrow because you don't know that I have to go tomorrow. My mind is now tearing my soul apart. Your light reaches out through the dark. I searched to the ends of the earth only to find that you were here all the time. Sit down tonight and talk with me. Tell me all the things that you want to be. I know the idea is deep in your soul, but the world will say that there's no place for it to go. Everyone will try to fill you with doubt. In order to be heard, you will have to shout. I'm pushing you towards the abyss because the edge has a view that you don't want to miss. No matter how far we are apart, if you carry me deep inside your heart, you can always sit down and talk with me.
Gorgeous.
That was a little hard
That
to
was
read sometimes.
Just
yes,
say
I
it
was
was
going to
short.
say it's an emotional piece for
yeah.
your daughter. The pieces for our
Yeah.
children are so full of love and emotion. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. I'm going to bring Liquid back up. It's good
Yeah.
that we're sorry that you had technical problems there. We'll bring you back up, and not too
It,
sure what you would like to do, but
it happened. That's all right. All right. So that's all right. That, you know what? I'm glad I read that. I'm glad that happened because I see some stuff. I'm like, all right, this can go. This can go. I haven't really. So I am going to do. I am going to do a piece that I
what can
wrote
I?
for my daughter as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, here it is. Okay, I'm sorry. This is called My Secret Answer. This is a short piece. It's okay. My dreams subside, and to that which cannot be denied, challenged, or defied, like a change of season or a shift in tide, I humbly abide. Time is not enough to bide as I approach that great divide. My hands are tied, and that moment of truth, when love and fear collide, heaven softly sighed. So behind a fractured smile, I hide and wipe away the tears she's cried. It's so hard to find the strength she needs, but you best believe I've tried. She asked, Daddy, are you afraid? I lied. To tell the truth, I'm terrified. In fact, I've never been this scared inside. Broken heart crushes a father's pride, and it feels like I've already died. Paul.
Whew. No, that
All
was
right.
some edgy.
You're
Goodness
about to make me
sakes,
cry over
Quinten.
here.
I know, gorgeous.
Oh
That
man.
was definitely
May
nice.
I
I like
just
that.
say, that for all the poets here, their pages are worthy of your attention on Instagram. They have some amazing pieces and some beautiful offerings for you. So, their handles will be in the caption when this is posted. I do highly encourage you to go and see their pages. My name is Valerie Lorraine. I am a poet and author. My first book, Falling, is available on Amazon, and my second book, My Life Untitled, is going to be out in the next 4 weeks. So I would like to bring you this piece. This is Spices. I marinated myself in the beauty of your spices. The aromas of you saturated my senses until it settled on my brain, so memories evoked easily as I caught you in the air I breathe in. You are in my thoughts, yesteryear, yesterday, and hopeful for tomorrow. The air is warm and damp from sea spray. As you walk hand in hand with me, our footprints temporary in the wet sand. Water pulling proof of our path back from the rolling waves. I long for your hand to reach for mine again, as my hair absorbs the sea salt carried on the blowing breeze. Time cannot hold you back from me. It can only distance us along the horizon. Painfully, I wait for you and your reaching hand. The ocean has been my favorite place, where you etched our initials in the large deadwood, now bleached from the sun. I still wear the beach glass you gave me, harnessed in wire by your strong hands, and laced with leather. You tied it around my neck. My fingers play along the soft edges. It won't cut my hand, but it jaggedly daggers into my heart, just laying so near its rhythmic beat. The glistening sun lays bronze on my skin as it plays with reflective light over the washing blue water. My, my feet sink deeper. I push them down hard in a desperate attempt to let the earth know I will not give in. I will not give in. I will wait because I know you are there, on the other side of that ocean, calling for me, on tidal winds that cast your voice in whispers. So I will come every sunset when the tide is out and hope to see your footprints pathing their way to me. Valerie Lorraine.
Ooh.
Lovely,
Ooh.
lovely,
Okay.
lovely.
All right.
Thank
Whoa.
you so much. I would
Yeah.
like to take a moment to thank our producer, Quinten Ford, who does a wonderful job behind the scenes, making this show seem flawless. I would
Indeed.
also like to thank our host, King, who will be coming up momentarily, for the
Thank you.
wonderful job that he does and the incredible platform that he provides here. And I would also like to thank our wonderful guests for joining us tonight
Sure
and
did.
entertaining us all.
Uh,
At this time, I would like to bring King up front and center and ask him if he would indulge us with one of his pieces.
Sure. How y'all doing out
Thank
there?
you.
It's King Atterbury. You can find me on IG as King Atterbury Inc. I am an author and poet of 20 published poetry books, which I have 3 coming out soon. So stay tuned for that. Check out the Poetry Corner. You can get a snippet of all of that. This piece title right now is called King's Way Part 2. We're not promised tomorrow, so today I chose to wait. Although I hold my own fate around the things that I create. Look up to God and ask why do we need suffer more? Is the writing on the wall where I am walking down the hall? Stop and knock on heaven's door with some prayers for us all. Due to everything I saw, closing my eyes, calling upon the Lord. The inner side of me is feeling natural, my attitude, mentally adjusting my thoughts, which is bilateral. remembering the elders, how they held on to hope and faith. My only way to live is in a God body mental state. And that's that piece, King.
Whoa, nice.
King
Oh,
within, he murdered the end of the show.
oh,
Hey, I would
John.
like to thank you, beautiful poets, for coming through tonight, spitting them dope, beautiful pieces, and wishing I hope you come back soon. And all y'all out there in Poetry Corner Universe, thank you for tuning in tonight. Also in the chat, we appreciate you. Stay tuned for next Tuesday. Thanking my co-host Valerie Lorraine for doing a fabulous job as she always do. And
Thank you.
if you want to check out King, check out www.kingatterbury.com. Let me know what you think. The links are in the square. Peace, love, and poetry. We out of here.